Going on, guys? Y'all saw the intro. We spicing it up here with all access with ISO Ani. And with me, I got Tobias Bass from The Athletic. For you guys that don't know, me and Tobias, we're partnering up. We're doing the scouting service, or our five-step Who report. That'll be me and Tobias Bass. So we college coaches, we're doing high school reports, we're doing transfer portal. So we getting after it. And then y'all trying to figure out, like, why do I got Tobias here? Tobias, let them know, like, what we got going.
We got a bunch of stuff going, man. We're going to be giving you the best coverage, I think, in the country on high school players and transfer portal guys. We're going to be giving you some stuff that people that you may not even know about some of these kids, just info, details, and things like that.
Right. No, absolutely. So, guys, so at the end of each month, probably beginning of the next month, so May, it had 31 days. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our top players we saw with our own actual eyes. So May has 31 days. So we're going to do our May top 31. So we're going to get right out to it. So June, I think, has 30 days. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not great with the days in the month. Yeah. But we're going to go our June top 30 at the end of June, going to July, early July before we get to July live period. So let's kick it off right here. Here we go. This is our May top 31. Tobias, you can hit it off. Talk about Jaden Mustaf.
Jaden, he looked really good at the Dallas EYBL session. I saw him play a couple times. I got to see him against the Houston Hoops, and I got to see him again against, I think, PG. He was one of the best. I think he was the best player on the floor, along with another guy I think we'll talk about later in Austin Force, but strong, physical. He cut his list down to, I believe, 6. I did an interview with him a couple of days ago, and he's still open. So his recruitment is still open despite the list being out there. I believe Arkansas actually offered him last night. So he's one of the better guards in the country. Dad played in the NBA for a little bit as well. Real physical guard. I thought that he really played basically the entire Houston Hoops team when he played him. He makes several and ones, got down and picked his spots very well. I think he finished with about 23 points and 6 rebounds. So he's another prospect I think many should look at.
Yeah, no, we talk about, basketball. Dad played in the league, played for a good bit professionally. Those basketball bloodlines are real. Yeah. And I got to see Jaden a little bit in that Dallas EYBL. He was very impressive. Michael Robinson, I got to see at that Texas Impact tournament, the Rumble and the Plex, but I also got to see him a little bit, a tiny bit in bus event. When to watch the film, I mean, Micah just at 6'6", he operates as like the secondary ball handler. When Jazz Henderson, some of the other guys are out, he's the primary ball handler. Again, I talked to him multiple times in my previous episodes. Me and Micah has been effective, productive, showing versatility on the offensive end and showing that he can hold his own defensively, especially when it comes to switches. Next, I got Dorian Anuchekwa, another kid I've talked about before, man. Just been really productive for that Team Trae Young group. Big body, about 6'10", in great shape, great footwork, great touch around the rim. Dorian just somebody that's just super impressive. Tobias, have you been able to see Dorian some this year?
Yeah, I have been able to see Dorian. I guess what's impressed me the most is his playmaking. He's able to, I think we're starting to see him grow up and mature and become into what we thought he could be. And he's starting to see that in front of our very eyes. I was able to see him able to make plays, passing the ball with both hands at a double team. That's what really most impressed me. The skill set's been there, but you're starting to see him get in shape. The footwork's improving. The skill set was there, but you're starting to see him grow up. And now he's developing into, I think he'll be one of the better bigs when this class is all said and done.
Oh, absolutely. I think so too. And I think right now for me, when it comes to centers in the state of Texas, I think he's number one. And I agree with you even from a national scope. I think he's really moving up the ladder and becoming one of the more better in productive ones. We talk about production, especially when we talk about upperclassmen. He's been super productive. Yeah. This one, I don't know you got to really see him much. I know you probably saw him when Pangos came in town, but Alex Barther, I think when you talk about the state of Texas, he's up there. Like he's a tier 1 guy in that 26 class. And I think that 26 class is loaded. And I think we're going to actually have some dudes. Where I think 25, we have some really, really good players, but no one's really just like completely separated themselves. I think in the 26 class, we're starting to see some early signs of where those tiers look like. And obviously they're young, but Alex Barther at 6'6", he's a guard. He can play make. He can score the basketball. He's athletic. I've seen him grab a rebound, go end to end and dunk on someone. Seen him shoot the ball off the dribble. Seen him just make passes and pick and roll. There's a lot of upside, a lot of talent for that kid. And going to Eastern Hills, he's somebody that will really dominate that district. I'm gonna be real with you. It's not a strong district. Yeah. But we'll be interested to see what the district looks like, and just seeing him against more stiffer, tougher competition. But for the 15 Southern Saw, he's been really good. Dylan Petit, again, we talked about Mustafa being a son of someone that played in the league. Dylan, Tony Petit's son, played in the league. He's been really good. His skill set's come along. He's not just pogo stick athlete. He's now showing some face-up abilities, some shooting. He's showing touch around the rim, especially with the offhand. He's showing some passing, like some improved passing and just accuracy. He used to just throw the ball kind of all over the place, but now I'm seeing him be more pinpoint with his passing and just his overall feel for the game. Dylan just been really good. I think there's a lot of growth in his game, and I think he has a huge upside if he continues to take these steps from offense.
I agree. He's another one. I think he's starting to also grow up as well. And like you said, he has the genes. And one thing I like is his energy. He's an energy guy. You're late in the game, he can make plays, those little tip passes, those little tip steals and things like that. He's going to bring the energy every night. And I like that he plays hard, because you don't find many players that have that type of passion and energy consecutively over game after game. He's a player that'll do that.
Yeah, talk about Zion Pimpkins. I got to see him at the Memorial Day Gasso, but I want to get your thoughts. You were really high on him at the Who Wants
Really, yeah, Who Wants. He was really, really good. He played against Gardner Road. They have NC State commit going there, and they have another kid. He was another top 40 kid on their team. He was by far the best player on the floor. It wasn't even close. Making plays in the pick and roll. I don't think he had a turnover, at least while I was there. I don't think that he did. He really ran the pick and roll well, made shots, finished above the rim. He was guarding some of those dudes too. The NC State kid, he's 6'8". I think they put Pipkin on him for a while. He gave him a really, really hard time. So seeing him be able to guard players not only bigger than him, but the way that he competes. And I like that his pace and his feel for the game. That's what really stood out to me. I think before he would play a little bit too fast, but in a game of that magnitude against an Adidas team with high-level players, to see him be able to come down and make the right play over and over again was super impressive to me.
Yeah, no, I mean, I got to see him. They played the Coalition. It's like RWG's STEM. They're like their high school team, but they got some talent. Man, I just again, you talked about his pace. His pace has gotten so much better. He used to just be in a rush, just looking to score. Saw some real fine passes and really threading the needle some. I was impressed with Zion because we obviously know him as a scorer, right? But now we're seeing some of this, just the other stuff. He has wide shoulders. Can you imagine what a college strength training is going to do? What he's going to look like when he's 20, 21 years old. And I have this question for you with Zion, no-brainer high major kid?
Yeah, no-brainer high major kid for sure.
Why do you think his recruitment? I know I haven't really interviewed him much, but why do you think his recruitment is not going the way where from what our eyes are seeing?
I think that people just haven't seen him. I think that when he was at Westfield, they had that little scandal thing with the grades and they couldn't make it to the playoff. That was kind of weird. And he went to Oak Hill for a little bit. He played well there. He was successful at Oak Hill. I think he didn't like the fit, so he came back home. Came out here. I just don't think people have seen him. But I think that you need to go see him now is my point.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Next person on the list, Dakari Spears. His brother played at Lehigh, I believe, for a little bit, for some time. Dakari, he's a guard. Talked to him in my first episode, just really impactful, uses his length, can really get the spots, changes direction and speeds very well with the ball in his hands. Good floater game, mid-range shooter, and I've just seen some really solid passes, especially when he drives and gets to the rim. He's with that Drive Nation 15s. Dakari Spears is another kid that's really impressed me in that 26 class, and I think with that Drive Nation group, which you got Austin Gooseby, you got Trent Perry, who we know who Trent Perry is. I think Dakari Spears, sometimes he's the best player on that team. and I saw him that Dallas EYBL. I thought him and Trent, it was kind of close, but I thought Dakari out was just more productive, just from my viewings with him. And just he just did more, where Trent's more athlete way more athlete, and he's a big time athlete. I saw a lot more skill, and I saw more like impacting plays offensively and defensively from a feel and IQ standpoint more from Dakari. But it's not taking away from what a kid like Trent Perry is, who's like uber talented with crazy upside. Talk about Tyron Stokes. Yeah, I got to see him in the Atlanta EYBL. Saw him a little bit in Dallas, but I know you've been watching him sometime. So just talk about a 226 that's playing for that elite squad and leading that 17U group.
Yeah, they have one of the Vegas, at least one of the better 17s. He's averaging 14 points, 6.5 boards, 3 assists, a block and a half, and a steal a game, and he's shooting 62% from the field, which I think is really impressive for him to be a 2026. With him, it comes with the pedigree. He made the Team USA under 16 team as well. He's playing 17s. He's having a good season. Just a mega athlete, really, really good body, and you can tell he's just young. But for him to be playing at this level now, he looks young. He kind of moves young, but for him to be this productive as a freshman on 17 is very impressive. Sometimes he leads that team a lot of the time. When they're not, getting what they want to be, he brings the most energy on the floor. And he's a very intriguing prospect. I think he's top 2, top 3 in that class, and I see why.
Yeah, no, he is. I mean, you talk about AJ Devonsa, who we're going to talk about. He's on here, and and Caleb Holt, who's also on here. Those three, they just kind of really separate themselves nationally in that class so far. And Tyron, I mean, when I saw him in Atlanta EYBL, I was like, man, why? And I was wondering why coaches were kind of out there. Obviously, they have other guys that are talented, but I was like, man, this is the kid right here. I was like, he's the most productive player. And then when I found out he's a freshman, I was like, wow. And his age, it was just really impressive. Trey Nunn, this is what I like about this is that this is from what we see, right? Obviously, there's guys on here that probably did really good in the Memphis EYBL that that we didn't really get to see, or they didn't play good in Dallas. So we're not going to talk about them here. You see what I'm saying? So in saying that, I came into the Memorial Day Gasso for a couple hours, and I saw Trey Nunn just put on a show for 2 games. I mean, he averaged about 25 points a game in 2 games. His shooting, big frame, people wonder, what position is he? What is he projected at the next level? But, with that 3D group, I mean, he's been productive every time. Was good at Waxahachie when he was healthy. Shoots the basketball, showing some shot creating abilities. Uses his frame really well to create space and then get his shot off. He's smart, so he'll get you a pump fakes. He can attack closeouts. He shoots. He really extends his range from deep. So playing help side on other guards that can get to the rim, he's going to make you pay. I saw Trey just be super productive in that day. And that's why he makes my top 31. And that's the beauty of this. You come in, we see a kid, he just goes crazy. That can make our list. And this isn't, guys, and what people got to understand, this isn't a 1 game thing. This is we have to go see 2, 3, 4, 5 games. And,
body of work.
And then from in a month, we talking about 30 days. If we're going and seeing all these kids, and this is what we look at. You gotta respect it. So. Talk about this is a Houston kid, Sebastian Williams. Talk about him.
Big fan of Sebastian. He has a unique skill set for him to be 6'8", 225. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. He can pass with both hands. He's also had a very productive summer. Houston. We haven't had a McDonald's All-American since 2018. This is the one I think that can do it. I think he has a chance to be the first one in so long. So, but he's also been super productive. He's here from a variety of schools as well. I like the versatility of what he can do on both ends of the floor, because you see him times he'll block a shot, get the rebound, push the ball up and down the floor, and make the right read. You don't see many players be able to do that. He's another player. People are questioning what position will he be. I think right now he'll probably be a 4, but he's versatile. I think you can put him in a lot of different actions, and he'll be successful.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sebastian, we talked about the 225 class that no one's really just really broke off heavily. Obviously, you got guys like Kingston Fleming, I thought Hudson Greer, kind of. But Sebastian, my opinion, just really, what I saw from the Dallas session, you have a real argument you put in number 1, and I think honestly in my list right now he is number 1 in Texas. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think he should be number 1. When you like to see from kids that are, I guess, 2 years away or a year away from graduating, you want to see the production, but you want to see the consistency. You're not a freshman anymore. You're not a sophomore anymore. Now you want to see him be able to do this weekend after weekend after weekend. And he's a player that he's been able to do that so far this spring.
No, absolutely. So talk about Boogie Flan. I know you. We both got to see him a little bit, but I want to get your take on just how he's been for that PSA squad.
He's been a lifeline, a bullet of the team. He has a good swag about him, the way that he plays. He really can score the ball. I think that he's one of the better scorers, combo guards in that class. I like the way that he's able to pull up from. He can pretty much stop on the diamond, pull up from mid range. He can get buckets and bunches. He can score on all three levels. And he's going to be a kid that many schools are highly sought after.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So now we're going to get into the next one. So the next slide. One day I'll find a more productive way of doing this. Until then, okay. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'm going to present the screen. I'm going to be a pro at sharing my screen. Here we go. Okay, there we go. All right, we back at it. We back in action. So Dylan Harper, I like him a lot. He was my standouts from the Dallas EYBL session. Just a guard. I think he is. It's hard for me to say this. I think he's number one in that 224 class right now. You got guys like him, Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson. I think those three, but I think Dylan Harper is just someone that can really score the basketball. He playmaker. I really loved his game when I saw him at Penguins All-American camp last summer, and he's just uber effective. He has good positional size, athleticism, skill. I think just as a scorer, playmaker, balances it really well. Man, I mean, averages like 22 points, 23 points in that Dallas session. He was just a joy to watch, just because you saw a guard that with size, like a bigger guard with like feel and scoring and just a more mature approach to the game. What's your thoughts on Dylan?
Speaking of bloodlines, he has bloodlines. His dad's NBA champion, Roman Harper. So I think for him, he scores like a pro already. To me, it's the way that he does everything comes easy to him. The feel is there, and there's nothing's ever forced. He'll get off the ball, run to the offense, catch a couple dribbles, layup at the rim. Nothing is hard for him. So I like the way that he scores is what stands out the most to me, and the consistency is there. He was doing this every single weekend, every single game. The consistency was there. He was scoring at a high level. No one could stay in front of him, and he was making the right reads.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, man, I'm a big fan of Dylan. I think he has proven that he is the number one player in this class, especially how his play has been in the spring. And, we got a year. Things will change, but I think Dylan Harper deserves, in my opinion, right now is number one in the country. TJ Birch, that's the kid. Like, again, I've been watching him. Obviously, I coach him, so you may be like, oh, Ronnie, you have one of your players. But, he's been backing up. When I saw him against Team Trae Young, in the Rumble Duplex, he had 25 points. Then I saw him against Team Curry, he had 27. And he's just an uber productive guard. He averaged like almost 30 points a game in New Balance in the first couple sessions in April, and in May, you just see him score, but also seeing some real flashes of strong playmaking which I think will come to him down the road, but someone that can just get downhill, finish around length and athleticism. He is athletic. He's gotten stronger. His shot's getting better. So he's going to make defenders pay more when they go under the ball screens. So TJ Birch definitely deserves this. I mean, against any shoe team, against any team, I'm seeing him score 25 plus points and help leading his team to wins or damn near close to wins when some of them, sometimes they had no business, being in those games. So, yeah.
Two quick points on him. The guys from the Pro 16 have told me multiple times he's been the best guard there. Yeah. So to put that in perspective, and I think too, one thing that's underrated about him is he's battle tested. This kid's been underrated his whole life. He's been underrated. For him to be able to take that and be able to consistently play. Because some kids, they kind of feel some type of way, but he's been able to battle through that. He's been consistent. He's been battle through that. I think that speaks to his maturity as a point guard.
Right. No, absolutely. And I was also told by like some guys, like even college coaches out there, like he's the best guard we've seen, and during that live period at New Balance. And I just like that he's always productive. He's, you're not seeing games where it's like 2 or 4 points. It's always like 20 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, just doing whatever it takes to win. I think winning is a big thing, that's a skill. Making winning plays and learning how and knowing how to win is a skill as well. Talk about the next person we have on our list.
Oh, Toombs, yeah, Jaden Toombs. So I got to see him against the Boozer twins in that early morning game. He's solid. We also got the chance to see him at Team USA as well in April. But he's looked really well. He blocks shots, rebounds, big, just a big kid. He's just a really, really, really big kid. But he moves well for his size. I like the way that he defends, blocks shots without fouling, and he will go up there and rebound. He is skilled too. He can knock down some jumpers if you let him. He's a very interesting prospect. I think he's another one that'll rise up as well.
Yeah. Another kid in that 225 class I mentioned about tiers, and he's obviously in that the A1 tier as well. He's been productive, he's a skilled people more of a back to the basket threat, right? Yeah. But the face up game's improving. I think he can make 15 to 17 footers consistently, and he just gets his hands on so many rebounds, blocks. He's not an explosive big, vertically. It's just, but he has long and just quick twitch with his arms, just tips a pass, rebounds, blocks a shot. And he's one of those shot blockers that he's smart, kind of you see some of the way he blocks shots from college and high level NBA guys. He blocks his shots to get it to his teammates, right? He's not swatting to go out of bounds to make a statement. Everything is okay, I'm gonna block this shot and get it to Jordan Lowry so we can go in transition and start our break. So I really like Jaden. Good feel. He's really getting better. He's lost a lot of weight, and I definitely one of the best players in this class in the state, and becoming a nationally known name. Jason Nathaniel, this is a Team Curry kid. I think, again, I said this in my last episode. I think this is a high major player. Just, good size, athletic, really good in transition, can make open shots, handles there, can defend multiple spots, on the defensive end, just gets after it, plays hard all the time, rebounds, just the Swiss Army knife type guy. You can call me a utility guy, whatever it is. I just think whatever you need from JC just brings it. So Jason Nathaniel just been super productive in the games I got to see. Saw about 3 games at the Rumble and the Plex. So let's talk about Austin Swartz. You were really high on him.
Really liked. I got to see him a few times also at EYBL in Dallas. To me, while we were in Dallas, I thought that he was the best shooter there, in my opinion. So far this he's shooting 37% from 3, 21 points per game, about 3 boards. What I like about him is he's not a guard that needs the ball in his hands a lot. He plays really, really well off the ball. So he plays for Boo Williams, Jaden Mustav as the point guard. He plays off the ball, doesn't need many dribbles to score. So if you have a guard on your team that's ball dominant, that likes to facilitate, he will be a perfect complementary player to him.
Right. And Swartz, he can really shoot the basketball. I got to see him last year. It was in the July live period. I thought he could really just shoot the crap out of it. So it was good that I didn't get to see him in this Dallas session, but it's good that, he was just shooting lights out like that. So now talk about the next person. I know you're super high on him too.
Super high. Out of all the players on this list that I've seen, he's probably my favorite player. I got to watch him 3 times in Dallas. Excellent feel. He's kind of the way he moves, he doesn't look like he moves as well as he's built, but he moves super, super well. He's not a great athlete, but what he kills you with just his intelligence. He runs the offense really, really well. He has good players on this team like a Nebraska commit, but he really can shoot the ball. I believe he leads BYBL in scoring at the moment. Oh, yeah. He averages 22.5 points, 5.5 boards, 3.5 assists a game so far. So what it stands out to me, he's about 6'5", 6'6". Great field, great facilitator. He's a player that also he completely plays well with really good players. So if you have a rock star or a superstar player, he's another good complementary piece because he wants to be able to feed other guys. All his points come easy. Nothing's ever really forced, and he really can shoot that ball from deep. So, and for him to be ranked in the top 50, you don't really hear anyone talk about him a lot. So he's a kid that he's ranked. He has the pedigree as far as the ranking, but the offers aren't there yet. So he's a kid that I think that if you like him, he's a sleeper that I think college coaches should recruit.
How is this recruitment like so far?
I know they're like Big Ten schools. I know that Michigan State offered him. That might even been almost a year ago at this point. But his recruitment solid. His ranking, he's ranked high, but I haven't seen anyone ever talk about him before. He's from Wisconsin, the Milwaukee area. He has Notre Dame, Iowa, schools around that, Marquette. Michigan State hasn't offered yet, but I think they're going to soon.
Okay, that makes sense. Knuppel, I think someone as well. I got to see him some too, even in the Atlanta session. I think he's someone that will move up nationally. I like him a lot. Like you said, the way he moves and stuff's a little unorthodox, but he's super productive and he still scores that basketball. I like about him. I think it translates. It does translate. Caleb Holt, I spent some time in Atlanta, about 3 weeks. Then got to see him in the Bryan, Texas, Adidas, and I know you got to see him some at Who Want to Smoke, and you said he's been pretty good for that game elite. Another kid that plays in the 17U, Caleb. We got to talk about just someone a guard that can really play. I like how he can just really change speeds. I like that he gets his spots. I like that he uses his length and his athleticism to score. I like that he's fearless against older guys. I like the shot creating upside. I think he can I seen them like hit guys with hang dribbles and stuff like that. To get a clean look. Man, just someone that's still productive, someone that really gets his hands in the passing lanes, and I like guys that play up and just don't care. Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's someone that just doesn't care and just really productive. So I really think that he's someone that just I like him a lot. I like Caleb. So talk about what you kind of saw with him at Who Want to Smoke.
I think that he's an elite athlete, and I think he's another kid. He made the team, the U16 as well. He's just an elite athlete. And I like that he defends. You see kids that are ranked that high, get a bunch of publicity. They don't defend. He's not one of those. He's the one that will get in past lanes. He'll sit down. He can, he'll guard multiple positions. He takes it upon himself to guard the other team's best player. So I really like that about him as well. And that he's having one of the best summers so far of a prospect in his class.
I agree. And he also made that U16 cut, right?
He did.
Yeah. So, no, shout out to Caleb on that. Cade Dodson. Again, I've really been impressed by him. He's someone that can really shoot the basketball. He has a good frame. But more, he's showing some playmaking upside. I think he's turned himself into a legitimate combo that can get to spots and then score and make plays for others. And man, defensively, he uses his physicality and strength to just really harass opposing guards. And he's been good for that JL3 group. I mean, that group. Shout out to Lucas and Courtney and all those guys, and just that staff, all of them, for them making to the getting qualified for Peace Jam. But I do really like what Cade Dawson's really bringing to the table. You're from Houston. You've seen him a decent amount. Just talk about his progression.
He's gotten much better. He's a winner. I think he's been a winner at every level, from the high school to the AAU level. And people got to remember, a couple of years ago, he was the reason why they won state in high school. He was a big reason for that. Terrence Arsenault, Wesley, they didn't shoot the ball well. He was the reason why they won that game. I mean, he led that game in scoring as well. So he's just a winner, and he knows he's going to make those plays and do whatever it takes to win games.
Absolutely. Next on our list is Brooks Barr, Texas Impact. He's just really seeing his recruitment rise. I think it's just very deserving. Lefty. Strong build, gets to the rim, gets to the foul line a lot. More of a streaky shooter, but man, just he can make open shots. You don't want to play off him that much. But I just like that he just gets to the rim. He's fearless. He goes through contact. He finishes. He'll compete on the defensive end. Not like a great defender, but his effort and just motor on that end. I get to see him just make some plays that you wouldn't normally probably see from a player like him. Just from he doesn't have great wingspan and not great lateral, but his effort, he can just get a lot done as an on-ball and a team defender. But Brooks, seeing his recruitment blow, seeing his offensive game, seeing that he can really find guys, especially when he does drive. So he's not just this bully guard that just puts his head down when he drives. He's not like a bull in the china shop. He's someone that does show real feel as a passer. And Tobias, all these guys we're talking about, it's just guys that have feel field IQ, know how to play, not just guys that, they make freakish plays above the rim. It's guys that can really know how to impact winning and do multiple things on the court that really translates. Like we see college basketball all the time. A pure athlete just isn't going to do a whole lot unless they're big. And then they still need feel.
One thing about Brooks is, so I think that the first 2 Under Armour assists, he led the Under Armour in assists with 6.1. So super impressive. He's almost a full assist ahead of the next guy. So I think that's super impressive as well. And then too, like getting to your point as far as feel and know how to play, over the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen a lot more cerebral players be successful, not only in college, but that translates to the next level as well. Not comparing him to anyone like that, but we're seeing the athletes, the cerebral players are coming more to the forefront as they have in the past. You have to know how to play. He's one of those kids that knows how to play.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Talk about this kid next on this list. I know you got to see him at Who Wants to Smoke. He's really kind of blown up in that 225 class.
Yeah, he's just smooth. He's just super, super smooth. Really, really, really knows how to play. I think he's a top 20 player in that class. I think so.
Wow.
I think that kid's really, really good. That was my first time seeing him. I had never seen him. I had never heard of him before. And then watching him at Who Wants to Smoke, he immediately jumped off the screen. He's having one of the best summers, in his class. I think not only in his class, I think in general. I think he's having one of the best summers just in general. I think he's going to be a kid that you see come up, handles crazy, has a super, super crafty, really reads defense as well, can score on all 3 levels. And he knows how to get in the pockets of space and make the right play and be able to finish around the rim. I just think that he's one of the more smooth, creative players. He's another lefty as well. He's a kid that I think coaches really should get on.
Yeah, Sean, I haven't gotten to see him yet. And I really hate that I didn't get to see him at Who Want to Smoke. And man, like I'm just hearing a lot, like even at the Under Armour sessions in April, they're just like, man, he has been like arguably the best player, to Derek Queen. And that just feels crazy at 225. And I think there's a couple 225s in the Under Armour circuit that are like leaders and like points, rebounds, stuff like that. So shout out to Sean. I know I'm going to for sure see him this month. I'm for sure if I don't, because he's just not in some of the events I'm in, I know I'm going to see him in July. So he's someone that I really got to watch.
And last point about him, he's tall. He's 6'7". 6'7", playmakers that can score on all 3 levels. We know what a lot of those guys turn into.
Right. No, facts. So here's the next one. This will top off our May top 31. See, guys, I'm getting more efficient with my slides. Elliot Cadeau, man, like I'm glad. It's funny. So in the Balls Life show with Ronnie Flores and Chelsea Hopkins, I said, man, Elliot Cadeau plays like it's just too easy. Like he doesn't need high school basketball anymore. No, and we have been hearing about him reclassing up to 2023, and I'm glad to hear the news because I think he's ready. He's so ready for college basketball. Yeah. He's super productive. He's with that New Heights Lightning group, really good with the ball in his hands, makes plays. I mean, this is like athletic, plays off the 2 feet and strong and finishes, and just the pace he plays, just everything. It's just super easy for him. So, Elliott's just been fantastic.
Yeah, I got to watch him a few times in Dallas, but he's just always 2 to 3 steps ahead of the next player. He's such a dynamic playmaker, maybe to make the right reads over and over and over. It's almost boring in a way because I know what he's going to do. Pick and roll, he's going to be a maestro. And look how he's helped like a guy like Ja'Kai Howard. He's climbing up the rankings, getting offers left to right. How much better has he helped, a guy like Ja'Kai Howard as well? He's helped him improve his style as a player as well. He's able to unlock certain things about his game. So I think he's the type of guard that you put good, even good or decent players around, he's going to make them better.
Right. No, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. Like Ja'Kai Howard, I think wasn't he shooting like 60% after the first session? It was so crazy like that.
Yeah.
No, just really good. Talk about the next 2, Isaiah Harwell and Nick Cody.
Super impressed with Harwell. I watched him a few times at the NLBC. He struggled a little bit in the NLBC. I was interested to see how he would bounce back, and it's night and day. I think it's completely night and day from what he was then and what he is now. 6'5", 6'6", athletic guy, can pull up, can score from all 3 levels, long defender. I'm super impressed with him, and he's improved his jumper so much. I know before he would like to kind of get in the rim and pull up. He's able to shoot threes now, and I think that's been another extension of his game. He'll be another guy. He'll be top 7, top 8 in that class as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Isaiah, I got to see that morning action on Sunday, And man, like quick drives to the basket, dunking, in traffic, and just saw like the game's just kind of slower for him. So now he's not rushing to get to spots. He knows how to get to spots. I feel like his core is stronger. So now he can take contact when he is trying to get to the rim and rise up and finish. Like, I feel like his balance, his strength, he's playing. He's probably played more and learned and watched film.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks like that. Because like you said, in the NIBC, everything felt kind of rushed, right?
Yeah.
But now everything just feels kind of slowed. And he just doing what he does best, but it's more efficient. And it just looks smoother and easier. So really happy about him with that. I've talked about Nick Cody at length. Just kind of what's your thoughts on him?
I like Cody, averaging 13 points, 6.5 rebounds, a little of a block a game. What impresses me, he's shooting 40% from three so far this summer, or so far this spring. I think that's the most impressive thing with me. 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan. Dad played in the NFL, so he's going to be tough. He's going to be a grinder, a player that does those type of things. He's also having one of the best summers in the player of his class as well. I think he needs to be talked about more.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's a big time stock riser in that 24 nationally. I wrote about him in February. I felt like this was going to happen. Again, I did not think it would happen this quick. I've said this before, but really impressed by Nick. I thought this May. I thought he was really good. He was steady. He was productive. Heard a lot of things about like Rumble in the Plex. He was solid. I heard he was hooping and who want the smoke. So just really happy like to kind of see that growth in Nick, and just like I've talked about it before. I thought Delton Deal has done a great job, and that Southern Assault staff has done a great job toughing him up. Like, I'll be honest. Like, no shade to Frisco. I mean, no shade to those Frisco districts and whatever. But like, I've been to a couple of those district games, and that was
it's rough.
Yeah, like it was kind of rough. So like, and their coaches working with that guy, but like I think Nick's playing tougher. He's playing tougher. He's playing harder, and there's more of a sense of urgency for him. And that's a great thing. We always want kids just to develop and get better, and I think he'll bring that going to next year for that Newman Smith squad. Cooper Flagg, man. I mean, ain't a whole lot to say about him. Like, I mean, Cooper is Coop. I mean, 30 point, 15 rebound, 10
blocks.
10 blocks. I mean, we're seeing it how like quadruple double watch in Memphis.
Yeah.
We weren't there, but like in Dallas, I felt like there was a quadruple double watch there too. So it's like, I mean, we can talk at length about Cooper. We know Cooper. Flag. To me, he's the best player in that 225 class right now. And the person below him, Cam Boozer, another one dominating at 16U division. Not a whole lot to say. We're going to go on a list of guys we missed. There is someone I feel like we did miss on here. We'll talk later, but Cam Boozer, again, 6'10", highly skilled, good frame, finishes with either hand, plays through contact, feels like grown man. Him and Cooper looks like grown men playing with little kids. What's your thoughts on both those?
I think the both of them probably the most skilled or polished 15, 16-year-olds I've seen. At least probably. I mean, then at least with Boozer too. He's a workhorse dad. I was playing in the NBA, but he's one of those kids. He loves the gym. I mean, Team USA a couple of days ago, he was the first and last person in the gym getting shots up after going through workouts. That tells you the type of high character kid that you're going to get when you get a kid like him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I heard the work ethic is fantastic. We talk about bloodlines. Like you said, dad is Carlos Boozer, who played in the league, was an NBA All-Star, I believe, with the Utah Jazz.
Like a few times.
A few times. So, I mean, Cam just has it seems like he has the mental, obviously the physical makeup, but also the mental makeup and the drive to really improve. And we've seen guys like him, he reminds me a little bit different, but shows some similarities of like Paulo Banchero.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
There's some differences with them, but like shows some of that like similarities with their game and their size with position. Darren Reed for that team Thad group. I mean, super productive. Tobias, you got to see him some. I mean, he's been really good for that team Thad group. That's another kid that I thought maybe missed it, but could have been on that group. But what's your thoughts on him?
I need to see him a little bit more. But the game that I watched, I thought that he was solid. I thought that he was really good. He was one of the standouts as well. I think he should be on too.
Yeah, like I mean, just the scoring. He plays hard as shit. Good size to him, strong. You know, can score in 3 levels. I think there's some real 3-level scoring with him, and so and better, like more efficient 3-level scoring than like down the road. Athletic. He just fits that team tag. You know, Coach Hurd. You know, he's a tough dude. Like he just fits that culture, and he just gets a lot done on the offense. And he's someone that doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't get talked about enough, but I think he's super productive and deserves to be on this list. AJ DeBonsa, man, I mean, again, it's like, I mean, he to me, he's like with Cooper and Cam, like, you know, obviously he's not dominating 17U, but like, man, like I saw him in Dallas and we saw him in Team USA. He was the first person that stuck out to me. I was like, oh,
definitely.
Like he's the best player, he's the best prospect here, and I saw 10 seconds. And it's the same thing when I see him in the EYBL. It's like, man, this is between him and Cooper Flag and Cam Boozer, he's the best prospect in here. And man, just that's 6'8", maybe you say 6'9", can shoot the basketball, can handle it. Like they sometimes make him more of a primary ball handler, a guy that can rebound, bring the ball up, initiate offense. Man, I mean, the kid is fantastic. In Dallas, I was even more impressed with just how much he was playing on the ball. Like, I'm not calling him PG. He's not a PG, but he is someone I think will turn into like a playmaking wing.
No, I think I was sitting with talking to a couple NBA guys about him. That was the biggest thing because I didn't know that he could play make that well. That was because I know we can score. I get that, but he was running their offense, and the point guard they have, he's committed to Washington State. They would move him off the ball and let AJ distribute. I thought that was super impressive in the pick and roll, finding guys in the pick and pop, and he was consistently doing against another good player. So he's another one of those rock stars in that class.
Oh no, absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Talk about Zoom Diallo. I know you got to see him at a bus event.
I like Zoom Diallo. Good frame. He's strong. He gets off the ground, but he plays low to the ground, if that makes sense. He's able to just slither through pick and roll, split doubles, split traps, and be able to finish around the rim. I also thought he was really impressive at Team USA when we saw him in April as well in Houston. So he's one of my favorite. He's actually one of my favorite guards in that class. I just like the way that he plays. He's super cerebral in the way that he plays. But I think he brings another athletic side to it as well.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I like Zoom, big physical guard. I got to see him in that. In Adidas when in the live period, but they didn't get to really see him in May. But I just thought, like, you're right. He plays low to the ground, but he doesn't, right? He just really knows. He really knows how to just use his size and use his strong lower base to like finish around the rim and just get the spots and get defense to jump and also like explode up and finish above the rim. Really like him. David Punch, shout out to that Drive Nation group. I mean, who would have thought that they were going to? They were going to make Peace Jam. I ain't gonna lie. I wrote a report, and Drive Nation people get, say what you gotta say. But I was like, on paper, they were the worst team going into all this, like in Texas.
I agree.
Like EYBL, but I did feel that if they came together, in part on, and what I wrote in there is chemistry and everything is strong, then they can make a run and be pretty good. And that's what happened. Like, I think there was just a lot more buy-in. And David Punch, he's a leader in that group. People wonder, again, what level of player he is as far as college. And I just think he just, if you can utilize a kid like him, take him, and he's going to be really good for you. I think if he goes to mid-major, I think he ultimately ends up high major. That's my opinion on it. 6'7", skilled. The three-point shooting has gotten a lot better. I don't know if his numbers really showed in the EYBL, but I just seen him shoot free throws and seeing him just shoot. It looks cleaner. He has long arms, so he can still alter shots around the rim, still grab rebounds. He's smart. He's a good passer in the post. He plays hard. He's determined to win. And when he needs to make plays, he makes plays. Shout out, to be a leader on that team and to help them make Peace Jam, super impressive. And shout out to Coach Mitch as well.
No, definitely. Yeah, he's also been another big stock riser in that class. Where I like how active he is, active hands. Like you said, the 3-point number, he can shoot the ball. You know, the thing he's shooting about 33% from three in EYBL, but it comes off his hand well. That's something those are shots he can make. He takes them and he can make those shots. So I'm definitely the numbers maybe not as high as he wants them to be, but that'll be something he'll improve on going forward. And I think that'll be something that he'll expand in his game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Kingston Flemings. You talk about we'll both
Yeah.
go. This is last but not least. Definitely not least.
If you had to tell us, say, Tobias, what's a player that you can think of the top of your head that's having the best summer in any country? Have to be him. Have to be. I don't think anyone. It would be hard for you to pick someone else. I mean, the kid had a couple low major offers. Now he's getting called by blue blood schools, and it's only been a couple months. So I think he's phenomenal. And then what I love about him too, he is the animal. He's just an ultimate competitor. Plays super hard. As with a sophomore, he's already broken his school record in the six already. So he's going to shatter it as a sophomore. He's already broken the school record there. So I think that he's going to be one of the better guards in that class. And shout out to my boy Devin. He put me on him like a year and a half ago because he's from the same area. And he told me this is going to be one of those ones. He's going to be a hot major kid. He showed me him before. So shout out to him for sure. But this kid, he's arguably having the best summer of any kid in the country, regardless of class. So he'll be one of the best guards in that class. Can do everything you want him for: play, make, defends, and can score the ball as well.
Yeah, one thing about Kingston, if he was, and he'll be in the national rankings, like I think with some of these data, you'll see him in national rankings. But I feel that as much buzz as he's gotten right now, he would probably even get more buzz if he was playing on the shoe circuit. Absolutely. And I'm not saying, he needs to play on the shoe circuit. It's just like we are seeing something really good with this kid. And regardless of if it's San Antonio Future or whatever, like, and shout out to SA Future for staying with this group and, really winning and productive and playing in front of coaches and getting a guy like Kingston to have like real national love. He's gotten a lot better. When I saw him at the TCU Elite Camp and even seeing him sometime even before that last summer, struggled versus stronger guys, wasn't as strong yet, I don't think he ever had a confidence issue because Kingston is a very confident kid. But he just struggled versus like stronger and guys in length. And now just like, I'll tell you, the moment I realized like, okay, this is how he's going to be. This is dangerous was against Duncanville, one of the first games of the season.
Yeah, first game, yeah.
And he was really good. I was sitting down with my guy and he just told me, he said, man, like, and it was an agent, he was just there watching, you know how that goes. They like to, you got Ron Hall, all those guys are trying to go get some of these dudes, but he watched Kingston and he said, man, like, Ani, that kid's going to be a pro. He could be a pro.
Yeah.
Like that's, I said, Ani, has he been playing like this? I said, not really, but it's starting to kind of come along. And I was starting to text people like, hey, this is Kingston Fleming's. Like, man, this is a dude. Like, this is a dude.
Yeah.
Fast forwarding now, man, he's super productive. He almost led his team to a state championship in 6A as a sophomore.
Yeah.
He was really good. I know he was really good. Who Wants to Smoke? You got to watch him. He's really good at the Memorial Day Gasso. I thought he was the best player in the Memorial Day Gasso, and it wasn't even close. I don't even care if I was there for like 4 hours. Like, I knew I was not going to see someone that productive, that skilled, that athletic, that had the physical just like attributes that he has. Man, just everything. The game just comes easy to him. And again, he's a tier 1 kid in that class, State Texas. And honestly, if you want to argue that he's a tier 1 or tier 2 kid nationally, you have a legit argument. Kingston's been fantastic. It's kind of cool that we get to close out our top 31 with him. Because he's been, like you said, has anyone had a better summer than him? I would really want to argue that.
Yeah, I think in the last point, I think he has his game is interesting. He has a very good blend of pop and pace. Like, he's athletic, but he plays with a super good, like, he plays fast, but he's always under control. He doesn't get sped up. Like you said, he's a kid that I think he's a dude. I think he will be a dude going forward.
Oh yeah, I agree. So now we remove this. Like, who are some guys we missed? Who is your top 2 or 3 guys that we missed?
One immediately is Amari McCoughtry. He also plays for their team phenom team. I think he's averaging 16, 17 points a game. I think he's won back-to-back second team all URBL the last 2 sessions. He's a kid. I think his highest offer is La Tech or Hawaii. I think that's it. He's been super productive the last couple of sessions. I thought he was one of the better players in the Dallas session. He's a kid I think that coaches need to definitely start recruiting. He's also a kid that people need to start talking about nationally as well.
Yeah, I thought Jaden Quaintance I would potentially miss. I thought he could have probably been in there. Plays for that team, that group. When you look at him, like his arms like touches his ankles damn near. Like he's just super productive. Just especially in defense and the rebounding. I really like this kid. He has a crazy upside, and he's also productive. 225 kid. He's young, and he's playing 17. He's been really good. So who's someone else you think that we kind of missed on?
One player too, I think we want to talk about too is AJ Bates. Despite the playing time fluctuating up and down, going to the second YBL session, he had 26 assists and only 8 turnovers.
Wow.
So and this was a kid last year. He was top 5 in assists last year in EYBL in assists. So he's a player that his spring's been a little up and down, but he's a kid. Like he's still out there playing hard. Like I said, despite what's going on with the minutes, he's still having. He's one of the best facilitators at least in the Nike circuit. So he's another kid I think also deserves his props as well. Yeah. Oh, and last point is Dorian Hayes. Chuck Hayes.
Yeah, he was on mine. He was the one I was going to talk. That was the one I was going to say.
Yeah, I love Dorian. He's from my area, so I'm a big fan of him. He's a kid I think that we need to talk about more nationally as well for sure. 6'5", he doesn't play like his dad. He's a legit guard for sure. Really competes at a high level, can shoot the ball, really can shoot the cover off the ball from all 3 levels, especially pulling up in the mid range as well. And for not only for his team now, but also in high school, he brings the ball up the court and runs their offense as well. He does a good job of doing it as well. So he's a prospect I think that we should be talking about more.
Yeah, I think Dorian has a chance to be a high major prospect. He was my third guy that I was going to bring up. I also want to mention Caden Boozer. We talked about we talk about Cam Boozer a lot, but Caden is really good too.
Really good.
Got a lot better. Like gets to the paint. He's someone that's probably better getting to the basket and finishing. But I think the jumper's gone better. The playmake's gone better. I think he plays with really good pace. I think he really defends and gets after it. He helps that Knight Riders team a lot. So Caden Boozer to me, got to see him in that Dallas EYBL, and I was like, whoa, he's got a lot better. I didn't really get to really closely evaluate until then, and since last July. So just to see him play out there, he was really good. Another one, Robert. There's 2 more. Robert Miller. He was playing pretty well. I know he struggled in that Memphis EYBL, kind of up and down. But I think Robert Miller, potentially you can rank him as number 2 in the state of Texas in that class. Chance of being a top 40, top 50 guy in the country. And maybe even higher, just 6'10" with his versatility and skill set, it's unmatched. Last one, I know we didn't have Trey Johnson on there. We talked about Trey some. He just hasn't been playing great, especially in that Dallas EYBL. He didn't play great, not the Trey Johnson we know. Didn't feel like he should have been in that top 31, but I know in Memphis he was, back to kind of his normal self. So we're just going to, I thought Trey, if one of us went to Memphis, he would have been on here. But I want to be true to this. It's who we saw. It's who we watched. Yeah. So we do, the good thing about Dallas, about Texas in May, a lot of these teams come to us. So we got to be here and watch instead of us having to travel. So those are guys I feel like maybe we missed out on the list. I know there's some guys that, when people are watching now, this kid, that kid, right? There's a lot of players nationally that playing well, but this is just for our eyes. This is what we saw. So Tobias, coming up, what do we got going?
We got coming on going. We got TABCs in 20 days or so, roughly. That'll be a really, really big event. Some of you guys will be there watching some of those kids play as well. We'll have some more portal things. The portal's pretty much done now, so everyone's in there. So there's still some solid players in there. So we'll have a list out of some of the best guys still available in the portal from point guard to the center position. We'll get that out ASAP.
Absolutely. And then I'll be at Vegas in a couple of days. So on Sunday, June 4th, I'll be in Vegas for the Pangos All-American Camp. I'll have my stuff out. Y'all will see a lot of stuff from the Fight Set Who Report, what was out there. Like Tobias said, TABC. and then I kick it right to Orlando for NBPA camp. So if there's a kid that I missed, we missed at this point, I mean, boy, like, we'll catch him in July. So Tobias, like, what are you looking for in the month of June? I know this is more of a scholastic situation, but is there some players that you're looking forward to seeing this month?
Yeah, this month I'm want to keep seeing AJ Bays, Devon Ugo is another one I want to keep seeing. Jalen Shelley, because you're going to see these team camps. These team camps are going to be this month, so we'll get to see a variety of different players from all over the state, wherever they're coming from, meeting up and getting to see them. So those are a couple players, at least down here, that I'm interested in seeing. Dorian will be another one I want to see too.
Yeah, hopefully I get to see Shauna Bev in one of these national events. I think another kid, Francis Chukwudibelu.
Good player, really good player.
To see him also in Pangos All-American camp, to see how he performs there. I know he had a good Memphis event. He was someone that I think starting to kind of figure things out. So I like to see him against, in that setting, in Pangos and against, other guys his size, and just see how he performs and see where that development is really going to. So we're going to wrap it up, guys. Normally it's a 30-minute show, but we had to get into this. So next time you see us, we may do something after TABC or maybe before. But you'll definitely always get our top 30, 31, 29, whatever days are in the month, 28 at the end of each month or at the beginning of the next month, guys. So, this is Tobias. This is ISO Ani, and we out.